Laramie is full of amazing artists. I'm here with Dillon Ruland, one of the very talented artists in Laramie. Why don't you go ahead and start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm from Laramie. I was born here, went to school here, still work here. I mean, I've traveled a bit throughout my life, but I've always considered this mainly just like my home base. And I don't know, like art has been a very big part of my life ever since I was a kid, and it's just continued on into my adulthood.
Nice.
You know.
So what do you do?
Well, I do a little bit of everything, but my main forte right now, I'd say, is glass blowing, or mainly lamp working. I do jewelry making. I use different forms of copper, metallurgic arts. I organize a lot of other artists to make art shows, which you are actually
Yes.
incorporated in.
I am.
We'll touch on that a little bit
Yes.
later. But the main thing I want to say is just mixed media, I guess, would be the best answer, but with a heavy borosilicate lamp working.
What drew you to this field?
A little bit of a pyro at heart, as well as I just like to make things. And I had a friend that got me into it, and I'd hang out at his place, and it was just one of the coolest things I've seen, and it was like right up my alley, and he let me play around a bit, and I got hooked. And then fast forward about 3 years, I've got my own little studio and got my whole setup and making stuff and making a go of it, trying to make somewhat of a living off it.
Let's talk a little bit more about this awesome studio that we're in.
Yeah, this is my little slice of paradise right here. This is my spot where I don't know, pray to the god Inspirato, or else just, I don't know, a place to kind of just let the creativity flow, or else, I don't know, just hang out and drink beer too.
Beer is important to
Absolutely.
influence you, huh? Do you want to talk more about the process of blowing glass?
Well, the process of blowing glass, what I do is what differentiates it from just regular glass blowing is I do borosilicate lamp working, which is when people think glass blowing, they think of those long rods that go into furnaces, and then they pull out a lump, and then they'll roll it and roll it and roll it, and then they'll bubble in there and create whatever they do with it. What I do is I use solid tubes and rods and different colored glass, and I use a torch as my heat and heating implement, and I work it in the fire itself. And the whole juggling between solid and molten is just like a dance that I do to create what I do, like whether it be like marbles, Christmas ornaments, just whatever, jewelry, just whatever I'm doing, and it gets a different effect. And then at the end of it, I have a kiln to where I do the annealing, where it makes it a lot stronger. Because the difference between the glass I work with and the furnace glass is borosilicate is considered Pyrex, so it's really hard glass, and then the furnace stuff is considered soft glass, where it melts at about 1,000 degrees less than the stuff I'm working with. But I don't know, you can get amazing, beautiful effects out of both, and I don't know, one of these days I might expand the shop to possibly acquire another exceedingly expensive hobby.
Oh. Do you have a favorite thing to make?
It's hard. It really depends on what I'm feeling that day. Like some days I like to, just make a bunch of pendants or ornaments or jars. One of the things I've been making recently has been, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I make timepieces where I put sand in them, or else what I've been doing for some people is I've been putting ashes of loved ones in them for, like memorial pieces for them. And I don't know, it's the whole, I guess, metaphor for time lost, and like, because they don't really work, because I don't know, ashes don't really flow through like tiny holes very easily. But
it's an awesome concept, though.
It's a beautiful memento that people like to carry with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about your supporters?
My supporters, well, a lot of my friends have and family have been really supportive of my whole ventures. Like, my parents always knew I was a weird artsy fartsy kid, and they've been very supportive of that, and
Nice.
been really hell, my mom, she got me started on with, instead of like just random toys, I'd have art supplies as my toys, and she would always push me to go further with it.
That's great.
So that was really cool. My friends have always been really supportive, and I made them stuff. Tons of my friends have a bunch of like little trinkets around their houses, and they'll wear jewelry that I make, and it's really neat to see a friend, or else it's even cooler seeing a stranger walking around town wearing a piece that I made, and like that's right. I don't know, that right there is kind of a neat little feather in the cap.
Yeah. Well, speaking more about the community, you've been really awesome in supporting local artists yourself, and you've come together and made this awesome tarot art project. Would you like to talk more about that?
Oh, it's been fun. It's been so much fun. Yeah, so it really came to me like in this weird kind of dream that like I really wanted to create something with a tarot deck, and then I've been wanting to do it for years, and getting different artists involved, and especially with this community, and like tons of people been coming out of the woodworks with just, you don't really realize how creative your community is. Just like a random person you'd be seeing walking around, just like, oh my god, this person, the stuff they make is just breathtaking. And it's been really cool just like getting to know tons of new people, and all these people coming together and meeting other new people to finish this common goal. And we are going to be having our final installation of the pieces, the cards on the summer solstice. Going to be a big show and all that, but we will then later on be I think we're going to have a deck release show like on the coming equinox. So with that, it's just been getting this community, like all the artists, hanging out with each other and chatting, and then also getting people to come experience this. Just like, hey, that your fellow townspeople are making something really cool happen.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's
You've
been
gotten
pretty
a
sweet.
lot of artists together, a lot of venues, the Pedal House, new to you. And
Oh,
you've
yeah.
even brought in, actors, musicians,
Yeah.
just in this one project. So I want to thank you very much for doing that, following through.
Absolutely. Thank you
It's
very
been
much.
really awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So back to your awesome glass. So the market's been a little rough, and materials, does that ever cost?
The materials
An issue?
themselves, so initially getting into it, it can get pretty hefty. Where just like, because you need so many different things, like you need your fuels, you need fuel lines, you need regulators, you need your torch, you need a way of annealing, whether it be a kiln or like you can use other materials to, somewhat make it so your glass objects don't explode when they're cooling. It's a bad thing. But then also then you're dealing with tools, special safety glasses, the glass itself. The initial investment is, you can make it work if you're working with someone and you can start buying things as you go. And that's what I did. I built up over years my equipment, and I'd say the initial investment was probably like over $2,000, but I mean that's just kind of ballparking it. But you end up making it back though through sales of your objects.
Nice.
I mean, Christmas time is a huge time for me because I make hand-blown Christmas ornaments, and people in town have been collecting them for years now, and it's been pretty fun too. As I've been doing this thing, like all my close buddies that have been having children, like I'll make their first Christmas ornament for them for free. Just I'll put their name on it and the year. It says like the keepsake for the parents, and I don't know, like a lot of my friends have started crying. They're just like, dang it, I didn't want to cry. They're just like, they're really moved, and I was really happy to make something for their family to carry on throughout time.
You seem to have lots of passion for this, and that's just great.
Well, you gotta be passionate about something.
Yep.
Yeah.
So where do you go from here?
So my goal of like my 10-year plan, and I'm just kind of putting this out there, is like I would love to expand into a working, like a working studio where I'd be teaching classes, but then also selling supplies. So it'd be like an art supply warehouse meets an artisan's gallery, kind of like a co-op sort of, but then also like a a working studio to where people can rent studio time as well as take classes or teach classes, whether it be for intro to lamp working or electroforming or acid etching or I don't know, stained glass, underwater basket weaving, whatever. But
Well, I'm sure you're going to make it happen. You've made everything else happen so far, so I wish you good luck on that.
Thank you very much.
You're very talented.
Ah, shucks.
And this has been lots of fun to get to know you better.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you luck in everything.
Well, thank you very much. It's a lot of hard work, but I have a very supportive, community and group of friends and family.
For sure.